nationwide protests to shelve the planned action and wait for the maturity of government policies. The Nigerian Senate approved 70,000 naira as minimum wage for workers in Nigeria. On foreign scene, Vice President Kamala Harris secures the support of a majority of Democratic delegates to become the party's nominee for presidency. Details of these and more will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has asked Nigerian youth, especially those planning to embark upon nationwide protest, to shelve the planned action and wait for the maturity of government policies aimed at regulating the economy and reducing the sufferings of the masses. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris made the appeal while fielding questions from journalists after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu at the Presidential Villa Abuja on Tuesday. He said the president does not see a need for the protest as his government is doing all it could to ensure that the country is better off. The minister said the president has heard all the complaints of the citizens and is doing more to attend to them. He said government has set out more plans such as the minimum wage bill, which has been passed by the National Assembly, among other interventions that the president has put in place in the interest of Nigerians. He said the young people must listen to the president and allow him more time to see to the realization of all the goodies he has for them.
Also discussed the issue of the country generally, and Mr. President has asked me to again inform Nigerians that he listens to them, especially the young people that are trying to protest. Mr. President is listening to them. He takes what they say seriously and is working assiduously to ensure that this country is good not just for today but also for the future. The issue of the planned protest, Mr. President does not see any need for that. He's asked them to shelve that plan. He's asked them to await government's response to all their pleas. He has listened to them, like I said.
The Nigeria Police Force has appealed to residents to shun violent protest as this is detrimental to the peace and security of the territory. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, made the appeal while responding to questions from journalists during his meeting with strategic managers in Abuja. Correspondent Kuluju reports that Egbetokun, who recognized the rights of citizens to protest, underscored the need to be wary of miscreants who might hijack the protest to cause mayhem.
Anybody calling the youths to come out of violent protest, they don't like the youths. So I am using this opportunity to call on Nigerian youths to shun violent protest.
The police boss reiterated the commitment of the police to secure lives and property of residents. He added that his men have been advised on how to handle all protests professionally and ensure safety of lives and properties.
My address, I said we will remain committed to providing protection for those who engage in peaceful protest. That I made very clear in my address. If the protest is peaceful, you will see us.
The Nigerian Senate on Tuesday passed a Police Act Amendment Bill to enable a person appointed to the Office of Inspector General of Police (IGP) to remain in office until the end of the term stipulated in the letter of appointment. The executive bill forwarded to the Senate by President Bola Tinubu in a letter to the President of the Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, was first presented for first reading, then scaled second reading, and was read the third time and passed. Senate leader Senator Pemi Bamidele leads debate on the general principles of the bill aimed at amending the Nigeria Police Act 2020, seeks to increase the retirement age of police officers from 60 to 65 years and their tenure of service from 35 to 40 years. According to him, the IG would only have been in office for 1 year, 3 months by September, with 2 years and 9 months remaining of his 4-year appointment.
The bill, section 18, the amendment of section 18. Section 18 of the Principal Act is amended by inserting a new subsection 8A, which reads, notwithstanding the provisions of subsection 8 of this section, any person appointed to the office of Inspector General of Police shall remain in office until the end of the term stipulated in the letter of appointment, in line with the provisions of section 7(6) of this act.
However, Senator Ahmed Lawan and Saraki Dixon had expressed concern over the bill.
And this section to enable a person appointed to the office of Inspector General of Police to remain in office until the end of the term stipulated in the letter of appointment. Is there any clause anywhere that subjects the stay in office by the IGP to good conduct, to performance?
The worry I have is that the amendment sought, no matter the intention, is seeking to make an appointment to last as long as the appointment letter lasts. So, if somebody has appointed a person as Inspector General for 5 years or for 10 years, what this Senate is being invited to endorse is that by this amendment, if passed, the person must stay in office.
The Senate, in the Committee of the Whole, considered the Nigeria Police Amendment Bill 2024 and approved as follows. Long title as recommended. Number of clauses 1 to 2 as recommended. Interpretation clause new, short title clause 3 as recommended. Schedules new, explanatory memorandum as recommended. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the Committee of the Whole?
The bill provides clarity and stability in the leadership of the Nigerian police force, ensuring that the IGP can serve the full term as appointed without abrupt retirement due to age constraint. The new Police Act Amendment Bill, when assented by the President, will enable an appointed Inspector General of Police to remain in office for 4 years. The Nigerian Senate has approved 70,000 naira minimum wage for workers in Nigeria. The National Minimum Wage Bill will become effective after President Bola Tinubu sent to it. The bill, which scaled first, second and third readings just minutes after it was transmitted by President Bola Tinubu, was instantly passed by the upper chamber. The legislation seeks to raise the country's minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira. While leading a debate on the bill, Opemi Bamidele, Senate leader, said 70,000 naira was agreed upon by all the parties for negotiation.
In response to the agitations and after a series of negotiations between the federal government and the organized labor, the current national minimum wage of 30,000 naira only has been reviewed upward to the sum of 70,000 naira only. This is part of the federal government's short-term measures to mitigate the situation in the country, as efforts are being made to bring about long-term solutions that would align with the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians.
On his part, Tahir Runguno, Chief Whip, said there is a need to review the minimum wage in line with economic realities.
The minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000 is equally very, very germane and apt, especially against the backdrop of the effect of the removal of subsidy, which has brought about a corresponding increase in the prices of goods and services. So there is a need to review the minimum wage to bring it in tandem. In
an anonymous vote after a close consideration in the Committee of the Whole, The National Minimum Wage Bill scaled third reading and was passed.
Distinguished colleagues, a bill for an act to amend the National Minimum Wage Act 2019 to increase the national minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000 and to reduce the time for periodic review of the national minimum wage from 5 years to 3 years and for later matters 2024. Third reading taken and passed.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. Coming up next. The House of Representatives calls for the suspension of the Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority. Details of these and more will come to you shortly after this break. Do stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at GalaxyTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at GalaxyTV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp if you have breaking news around you. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. The House of Representatives has passed a bill to increase the minimum wage of workers from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira, giving legal backing to the recently agreed upon amount between labor unions, the private sector and the government. The executive bill, which has been passed, also reduced the consideration period for a new minimum wage from 5 to 3 years. The House expedited the passage of the bill to ensure immediate implementation as requested by the President. Additionally, the House passed the amended Police Act, which includes a new section allowing the Inspector General of Police to serve until the end of the appointed term as stipulated in their letter of appointment.
In accordance with the provision of Section 58 of Section 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, I forward herewith the National Minimum Wage Bill 2024 for consideration and passage by the House. This bill is to prescribe a national minimum wage and provide a legal framework for seamless review of the national minimum wage and for other purposes connected therewith.
The House of Representatives has approved a significant increase to the 2024 budget, raising it from 28.77 trillion naira to 35.05 trillion naira. The change follows the consideration of a report from the House Committee on Appropriation, which addressed President Bola Tinubu's request for a supplementary budget of approximately 6.2 trillion naira. The committee's chairman, who presented the report, highlighted the agreement between the House and Senate on the increase.
Is consideration of report of the Committee on Appropriation on a bill for an act to amend the Appropriation Act 2024 to the issue from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation the total sum of 35 trillion 55 billion
Order, please.
536 million
Order.
770,218 naira only, of which 1 trillion 742 billion 786 million 780,150 naira only is for statutory transfers.
The amendment of a bill for an act to authorize the issue from the consolidated revenue funds of the Federation the total sum of 35 trillion 55 billion 536 million 770,218 naira only, of which 1 trillion 742 billion 786 million 788,150 naira only is for statutory transfers.
The amended bill authorizes the issuance of 35.055 trillion from the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation, marking a substantial expansion of the federal budget for 2024. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has called for the suspension of the Chief Executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority, pending a thorough investigation into allegations against the authority. This decision followed a motion of urgent public importance presented by Honorable Esusa Iyawe, who expressed concern about the impact of high sulfur content in fuels on engine hardware and the environment. Honorable Iyawe highlighted the risks associated with sulfur, including damage to engines, air pollution, and negative health effects such as respiratory problems and cancer. He noted that governments worldwide have established standards to reduce sulfur emissions, and diesel producers are expected to adhere to those regulations.
Mr. Speaker, the House is concerned that allegations have been made by NMDPRA were giving licenses to some traders who regularly import high sulfur content diesel into Nigeria, and the use of such products poses grave health risks to use financial loss to Nigerians. The House is also concerned that the unguarded statement by the Chief Executive of this agency, which has since been disapproved, sparks an outrage of Nigerians who tagged his own Demley and local refineries as insistence on the continued importation of fuel.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has again increased the monetary policy rate, which measures interest rate by 50 basis points from 26.25 to 26.75. The monetary policy rate is a baseline interest rate in an economy which banks use to set their interest rate. The CBN Governor Olayemi Cardoso announced this after the Apex Bank's 296th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja on Tuesday. Amidst the surge in food prices, the National Bureau of Statistics on July 15 announced that the country's headline inflation rate rose to 34.19 in June 2024. The June rate represents a 0.2-point increase from the 33.95 recorded in May 2024. However, the latest increase in interest rate after the CBN's 296th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja on Tuesday is the fourth consecutive time the Apex Bank will be raising the benchmark rate in 2024. The federal government has pledged continued support to the provision of affordable housing for Nigerians. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Ahmed Dengiwa made the pledge at the Africa International Conference on Housing held in Abuja on Tuesday. Dengiwa stressed that the issues of housing sector cannot be tackled in isolation, noting that it cut across the entire housing value chain. He stated that 42 out of 75 million houses in the country are substandard, adding that a new housing strategy approach will be implemented to curb substandard housing across the nation. The minister, however, noted that housing is fundamental human right of Nigerian citizens, which the government must provide for a conducive and peaceful environment.
That 75 of the 42 million housing units we have are substandard. This means that our housing delivery strategies must include urban renewal and slum upgrading, and then also the building of new houses to address the housing solutions or challenges we are having.
Also speaking, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, and Speaker, House Representatives Tajuddin Abbas stressed the need to provide and implement housing policy that focus on both demand and supply. Akpabio and Abbas, who were presented at the event, emphasized the need to prioritize construction of affordable housing units through the government direct funding and public-private partnership.
It's not merely a conference. It is a platform for transformation. Your presence here today serves as a beacon of hope and inspiration for all those who strive to build a better Africa. May this show ignite a sense of purpose and galvanize us into action. Together, let us embark on the journey of building a stronger Africa where every citizen has a place to call home.
Other associated issues hinder housing development projects. As we navigate these challenges, let us be guided by the wisdom of great thinkers and leaders. Nelson Mandela once said, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." This reminds us of the importance of striving for excellence in our housing policies.
As part of efforts to address public concerns over soaring food prices, the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, says it has implemented measures to curb food price gouging, promote fair competition and protect consumers. Acting Executive Vice Chairman of the Commission disclosed this in Abuja on Tuesday while addressing journalists on how the Commission is fulfilling its mandate alongside President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. He stated that with a concerted effort, the Commission conducted measures to prevent anti-competitive practices in measures and acquisition, helping to preserve consumer choices by preventing large companies from unnecessarily acquiring small competitors and restricting options.
Promote fair competition and protect consumers. We monitored markets, partnered with stakeholders, enforced pricing transparency, and sensitized consumers. We monitored markets and also took action against underweight bags of rice, the sale of expired goods, cement price hikes, substandard iron rods, and alleged discriminatory practices in the Chinese supermarket.
While speaking on one of the biggest challenges Nigerians are facing, the Executive Vice Chairman stated that electricity consumers have a lot of complaints on exploitative billing, unlawful disconnection, non-metering of consumers, among other complaints, stating that the FCCPC is working hard to tackle the prevalent issues and improve service delivery by implementing various programs and initiatives aimed at improving transparency and accountability in the sector.
It is a well-known fact that inadequate supply of electricity is one of the biggest challenges facing Nigeria today, with huge implications for both national economic growth and the well-being of consumers. Consequently, complaints about poor service delivery by electricity distribution companies is a discourse by far the highest category of complaints received by FCCPC.
Nigeria government has been charged to work out modalities to mitigate economic hardship facing the people in the country. This charge was made by Labour leaders while reacting to the genuity of the proposed nationwide End Bad Governance protest. Galaxy News correspondent Levi Joseph has more in this report.
To some Nigerians, the nationwide protest against bad governance as proposed by some concerned Nigerians is born out of the current economic situation in the country. Federal government is expected to, as a matter of importance, roll out measures to cushion the effect on the people.
Absence of war does not mean there is peace. It is when there is equity, fairness and justice, then we can say there is peace. And let's look at the country now as it were. The Nigerian Labour Congress President, Comrade Joe Ajaero, wrote a letter to the President, an open letter for that matter, that the President will have a dialogue with him. And we're expecting the President to take it from that background.
That I don't think this is the right time for us to be doing anything, rally or strike whatsoever. No, I don't think this is the right time, because we have already found ourselves in a particular mess. So I think we should start thinking, our thinking should start revising and thinking what happened yesterday, day before yesterday, you understand, and what do you gain?
Though the economy is harsh and the people are really suffering, Labour leaders advise that protest or rally is not the solution, but dialogue and quick intervention from the government.
It is when there is equity, there is justice, and we can say there is peace. But what is on the ground now? We will call on the federal government to act fast before it's too late. But don't those people who planning that want to protest, they are not going to protest for protesting sake.
This is our country. We have nowhere to go. You understand? If you want to start something, you don't know what it will end. You understand? So it's better you rethink. This is not the right time. Issue of government. It's problem of me and you.
It's time for government to think out of the box this time and find solution to the economic doldrums ravaging the country. From Lagos, this is Lebby Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, Ahmadu Bello Teaching Hospital branch has resumed work on Tuesday after an emergency ESCO meeting which ordered its members to return to work following a 3-day warning strike. Speaking to Galaxy TV correspondent on phone, Dr. Imran Sani Abdulaziz said after an extraordinary executive council meeting with management of the hospital who showed commitment to solving the demands, they decided to call off the strike. Recall that the NAD Abut branch on Monday embarked on strike to press home its demands from the government. According to Dr. Imrana, the major issues are payment of arrears of allowances, where more than 60% of federal health tertiary institutions in the Northwest Zone commenced payment of and paid a significant amount of these monies, but Abbott did not. Other issues are members on the GIF-MIS platform were paid June 2024 salaries in percentages, yet they are being owed salary arrears from 2021. The coalition of Middle Belt youth leaders has warned youth from the region not to join the planned nationwide protest slated for 1st of August 2024. Spokesperson of the group, Nasiru Jagabag, gave the warning while addressing journalists in Abuja on Tuesday. He stated that the calling for the boycott of the protests is premised on the security of the Middle Belt people, especially the countless rural dwellers who suffer incessant massacres from militia groups. Jagabag explained that those that plan the protest can go to any length to set the country on fire and to make the government ungovernable at the expense of lives and property of innocent citizens. He acknowledged President Tinubu's efforts to cleaning up the damages of the previous administration, but urged the federal government to continue to be more equitable, particularly in the Middle Belt region, if it must enjoy their patronage.
Consequently, we wish to state unequivocally that all Middle Belters should stay calm and stay away from this planned protest that will destabilize our peace. We explore a better approach to communicate our thoughts on the current economic setback. Our premise for calling for this boycott is to the security of our people, the Middle Beltland, especially our countless rural dwellers who suffer incessant massacres from militia groups.
Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has charged traditional rulers in the state to support the state government in the fight against crude oil theft and other forms of criminality in the state. Governor Fubara gave the charge in Port Harcourt during the quarterly conference of the Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers. According to the governor, the federal government is doing everything possible to increase crude oil production in Nigeria, and the traditional rulers must take the fight to their various communities. Acknowledging the governor's resolve for peace, the chairman, Rivers State Council of Traditional Rulers, Eze Chike Wolu, said the governor has done well for not following the violent way.
To see a different society from this hour. The federal government is doing everything to see that our production level increases, and every day we're having issues of bunkering, pipeline vandalization, and all these problems.
Let us also use this opportunity to thank Your Excellency for maintaining peace in the state in the face of the unwarranted political crisis orchestrated by selfish and overzealous politicians.
The Nigerian Army has commenced a 3-day project management workshop training for its officers at the Nigerian Army School of Military Engineering in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, with the theme Promoting Innovation and Adaptability in Project Management in the Nigerian Army. The workshop, which is organized by the Nigerian Army Special Project, is an annual event in line with the Chief of Army Staff Directive in training young officers to sharpen their skills in project supervision and bringing in innovation for the successful completion of projects. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taufik Lawaja, who was represented by Major General Hilary Nzan, who flagged off the workshop and joined the officers to acquire relevant skills that would enable them effectively manage projects.
Topics for presentation and discussion will no doubt assist participants in acquiring skills, processes and strategies needed to respond to complex and dynamic environments, while ensuring project success in the Nigerian Army. I therefore enjoin you to take maximum advantage of this workshop to build your capacity and develop competencies.
According to the coordinator of Nigerian Army Special Project, Major General Shamsuddin Shefaru, the workshop will feature paper presentation from both senior officers and retired officers to young officers on modern skills in line with global practice.
Workshop represents a significant step towards enhancing the project management capabilities within the Nigerian Army engineers. The anticipated outcomes of the workshop include ability to monitor and evaluate project frameworks to unbundle innovation-driven technology in construction methods and project management.
Highlight of today's program was a presentation of gift to the representative of the Chief of Army Staff and other senior officers. Agricultural stakeholders in Oyo State are calling on the government to reassess its policies, which they believe will hinder the growth of farmers and players in the sector. Recent policies such as the high cost of diesel and the reopening of borders for certain food items have further reduced the competitiveness of farmers in the agro-processing sector. Simon Igbufose suggested that technology-driven initiative could help reduce dependence on electricity and diesel usage. He proposed converting farm wastage into bioenergy to power energy-efficient farm processing machines. Other stakeholders emphasized the importance of information sharing among farmers, utilizing modern farm machinery to increase yield and implementing favorable government policies to drive the economy.
Consume 150 liters of diesel per hour to operate. So that tells you how much energy is required to operate an industry in a rural location. And that's where solar PV has a limitation. It might be able to meet part of that load or even all of that load during the day. But if they're operating through the night, that's when you need a bioenergy solution so that we can convert what you see behind me in waste biomass into renewable electricity and renewable heat.
And the delivery of those to the processing plants, such as where we are today at the Atmankor site facility, processing cassava field. So I think the challenges are to make all of these technologies and innovations interact with people to bring to make that circular economy work effectively.
Now looking at how we can use some different products, but we'd love if government could come out with some initiatives to assist the processors to reduce costs so that we can increase output and really focus on providing less expensive food to Nigerians.
The news making the rounds in the media space that the Nnamdi Azikiwe University in Anambra State has 2 acting vice-chancellors may have been put to rest as the newly appointed Vice-Chancellor Professor Carol Arinze assumed off duty. This is coming after the Anambra State Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, read the route at the university in ensuring sanity to the citadel of learning. Addressing journalists at the university main campus in Oka, the head public relations, Emmanuel Ojukwu, described the allegation as misinformation by the media.
Issues in the media, misrepresentations, misinformation, that there are 2 active vice-chancellors in UNIZIK. It is not true. No active vice-chancellor was appointed by council until now. Professor Joseph Ikechebe was only told to oversee the university. He was never appointed an active vice-chancellor. I want to correct this.
The Citizens United Against Terrorism has decried the increase in cases of bandit attacks in Zamfara State, accusing the state government of complicity. The group claimed that bandits have increased attacks in the state using advanced weaponry, adding that Governor Dauda Lawal has failed to address the situation. The leader of the group, Obina Francis, said the state has witnessed a surge in attacks by bandits who are allegedly receiving protection benefit and favors from government officials. The body questioned how the governor's spokesperson was the first to view the incriminating video and calls for an investigation into the Governor Lawal's actions and alleged connections with bandits.
We are profoundly disturbed by the alarming deterioration of the security situation in Zamfara State since Governor Dauda Lawal assumed office. The state has witnessed a surge in attacks by bandits on every local government headquarters, with these criminal groups even forming factions and allegedly receiving protection, benefits and favors from the governor.
I now move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. Vice President Kamala Harris has secured the support of the majority of Democratic delegates to become the party's nominee for president. A survey by the Associated Press on Monday evening said she had received the endorsement of more than the 1,976 delegates needed to win the nomination in the first round of voting. That means Ms. Harris is on course to be crowned the party's standard-bearer and take on Republican Donald Trump in November's presidential election. It becomes official when party delegates hold a roll call vote ahead of next month's Democratic National Convention (DNC) in Chicago. Delegates are people who are selected to represent the electoral area. Their pledges of support are non-binding until the vote, but unlikely to change. No one has publicly stepped forward to challenge Ms. Harris since President Joe Biden left the race on Sunday. He found himself under mounting pressure from senior members of his party following a stumbling debate performance against Trump. If the total votes between now and when delegates cast their vote, scheduled to take place from 1 to 7 August, Ms. Harris would formally clinch the party's nomination. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told families of hostages held in Gaza that a deal that would secure their loved ones' release could be nearing, his office said on Tuesday. The conditions are undoubtedly ripening. This is a good sign, Netanyahu told the families on Monday in Washington, where he was expected to meet U.S. President Joe Biden later this week after making an address to Congress. Efforts to reach a Gaza ceasefire deal outlined by Biden in May and mediated by Egypt and Qatar have gained momentum over the past month. On Friday, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said negotiators were driving towards the goal line. Ruby Chen, father of dual U.S.-Israeli citizen Italy Chen, a soldier whose body is being held in Gaza, was one of the family members who met with Netanyahu. Chen said he hoped Biden will withdraw his bid for re-election and endorse Vice President Kamala Harris as the Democratic candidate in the November vote would apply more pressure on Netanyahu to secure the deal. The government of Bangladesh is expected to officially accept a court ruling on Tuesday that would see its quota system for government jobs drastically scaled back. Clashes between armed police and student-led protests over the quota in recent weeks resulted in the death of almost 150 people and some 2,500 arrests. The quota system stipulated that 30% of the government position must be held by the descendants of those who fought in Bangladesh's War of Independence from India in 1971. Smaller quotas were in place for women and other disadvantaged groups, since government positions are a driver of upward economic mobility for high-performing students in the country. The quota system has particularly angered students looking for good jobs. The system has been scrapped in 2018 by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, but was reinstated by a High Court ruling on June 5. On Monday, the Supreme Court issued a new ruling that would massively curtail the quotas. The resulting protests and the brutal police response has led to many governments issuing travel advisories for Bangladesh, as well as major evacuation of citizens residing there. Rescue teams have so far retrieved the bodies of 157 people killed in two landslides in southern Ethiopia, a local official told newsmen. The landslide occurred on Sunday evening and Monday morning after heavy rains in a remote mountainous area of the Gulf zone. The local authorities said the search for survivors was continuing vigorously, but that the death toll could yet increase. Footage showed hundreds of people gathered at the scene and others digging in the dirt or in search of people trapped underneath. In the background, a hillside can be seen partially collapsed and a large part of red earth has been exposed. The chief administrator of Goza Zone, Dagmawi Yele, told newsmen that the dead included both adults and children, while 10 people rescued alive were receiving treatment in hospital. Heavy rains caused the landslide on Sunday, and as police officers, teachers and residents from nearby villages frantically continued with search and rescue operations on Monday, a second landslide occurred, burying them too under the mud. Dagmawi said Gofa is part of the state known as southern Ethiopia, located around 320 kilometers southwest of the capital, Addis Ababa. Still on the international scene, authorities in Uganda deployed military and police on Tuesday around Parliament in central Kampala, the capital, to prevent a youth-organized protest against the government. Military armored vehicles were seen patrolling streets near Parliament, as shown on NTV Uganda television, after police prohibited the protest, citing intelligence that suggested the event could be hijacked by criminals intent on looting and vandalism. Access to roads leading to Parliament was restricted, with security allowing entry only to lawmakers and parliamentary staff. Business owners near Parliament faced difficulties accessing the premises. Edwin Mugisha, who worked in Kampala, likened the scene around Parliament and nearby roads to a war zone, referring to the heavy patrol young Ugandans plan to march. Young Ugandans plan to march to Parliament to protest alleged widespread corruption and human rights violation under President Yoweri Museveni's government. On Monday, police shut down the offices of the main opposition party, accusing it of mobilizing for the protest, and detained some of its officials, including lawmakers. The party denied organizing the march, but expressed support for it. Opposition leaders and human rights activists have long accused Museveni of not prosecuting corrupt senior officials who are either politically loyal to him or related to him, claiming embezzlement and misuse of government funds are rampant in Uganda. Lastly, on the international scene, a chartered flight carrying 123 Malaysians evacuated from deadly violence in Bangladesh arrived in Kuala Lumpur on Tuesday, Malaysia's Home Minister said. Student-led protests against quotas in government jobs in Bangladesh spiraled into violence last week, with at least 147 people killed. Bangladesh's top court subsequently agreed to scrap quotas following clashes between protesters and security forces that prompted the government to shut down internet services, impose a curfew and deploy the army. The flight, which included 80 students among the passengers, arrived safely at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail told the press conference. Some Malaysians chose to remain in Bangladesh as they were either students in the final year of studies or working there. Saifuddin said, without providing further details. And that's it from the international scene.
And up next is entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Blossom Moye. Here are some of the stories for today.
Nollywood actress Awele Odita has called out her baby daddy Koko Zaria for accusing her of sleeping with his boss MC Oluomo. The upcoming Yoruba actress claimed that during an interview, Koko Zaria had alleged that the actress was having an affair with former NURTW chairman MC Oluomo. Debunking the allegation on an Instagram page, she stated that Koko Zaria's wife was the one sleeping with Oluomo and not her, and she has a voice recording as evidence. She called the allegation unfounded and untrue, as she slammed him for slandering her name and reputation with such baseless accusations. She noted how she is the mother of his only son and as such deserves respect and honesty and not slander and deceit. Awele promised to go live on Instagram with proof. Koko Zaria has been in the news for days now for negative reasons. A week back, Yoruba actor Baba Lawari has called out to Nigerians for help over a brutal attack from one of the aides of Koko Zaria. Davido brags about having $500,000 worth of diamond on his teeth. Afrobeat singer Davido has taken to social media to flaunt the expensive diamonds on his teeth worth a whopping sum of $500,000. You may recall that the singer once displayed his new dental implant, a diamond-encrusted teeth, which was reported to worth $200,000. In a recent widely circulated video, the unavailable crooner was captured flaunting the diamonds on his teeth, claiming that they are worth $500,000. The video garnered more admiration from his fans and followers, making comparison between him and his well-known rival, Wizkid. Nigerian influencer Enioluwa has finally broken his silence on his best friend Priscilla Ojo's relationship with Tanzanian singer Jux. It was reported that for some days now, Priscilla has been the talks of the internet over a newfound relationship with Jux. The couple first stirred the internet with a video of her and the singer. The two had hit a club, and in videos they made rounds online. Priscilla was captured twerking on the singer. Priscilla seemingly confirmed the relationship after Jux shared the romantic photos on his Instagram. In the photos, a shirtless Jux was seen cuddling Priscilla, who was in a bikini, as they cozied up. In his comment section, Priscilla promised that it would be forever with the 34-year-old singer. Surprisingly, her mother, Yaboju, was one of the thousands of people who liked the post. Now taking to her Instagram page, the daughter of Yabo has gone Instagram official with Abu as she shared loved up photos of them. Music executive Obi Franklin expressed his gratitude to Davido after the singer gifted him a brand new GAC car worth over 68 million naira. The music executive shared exciting news on his Instagram story. He appreciated Davido for the gift and reaffirmed his love for him. He also extended his appreciation to GAC Motors Nigeria and Jubril of Lagos. Obi Franklin added that Davido is one who understands what is right to do for his people.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Blossom Moye. Bye for now.
Now for more updates and latest news, tvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Gangster TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. And that's all we have on